Okay, this is a very exciting moment because we finally know enough about the rocks at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, how they formed, to be able to answer the question that was posted here on this forum. Before we begin with that, let's quickly review the catalyst from earlier today. So the question here was, how did this boy cut his finger? And actually, if you look at both argument 1 and 2, they both have the exact same evidence. The evidence that they used was that the vase was broken. And you can see that right here. The difference between argument 1 and 2 is that in argument 2 they used reasoning. They explained that what they knew about the vase. They know that the pieces of the vase are sharp and something that sharp could cut someone. And so they're able to make a more convincing scientific argument because they explain the reason of why their evidence is supporting the claim. Today, when you write your scientific argument about how the different rocks in the Grand Canyon formed, be sure to include reasoning in your evidence to help your reader understand exactly how your evidence supports your claim. In part 2, you'll open this document and type into the text boxes, but for now I'm going to I'm just going to show you an example scientific argument. I'm going to write a scientific argument for Vishnu schist. Super tiny, you can see it right there. And you'll write one for either Dock sandstone or Zoroaster granite. You can choose either one. So let's begin by answering this question, what type of rock is Vishnu schist? So my claim is that Vishnu schist is metamorphic rock. And the evidence that I can use to support my claim are the observations that I made of the samples of schist in class. So I could write, I observed that the Vishnu schist sample had small minerals that were brown and black and looked like they fit together. I also saw some wavy stripes. So I need to now connect how this evidence supports my claim. But the evidence itself is just talking about a rock observation. So I need to add a little bit more to this evidence in order to make sure that my reader understands what I mean by it. So I'm going to add, these are characteristics of metamorphic rock, not sedimentary rock or igneous rock. So this is the beginning of an argument, but it's more can be added to it. And what I'm going to do to add more to this argument is an explanation of how metamorphic rock could have formed in the Grand Canyon. So to help me with that, I'm going to be using this background information that we taped onto our evidence organizer yesterday. So if you take a look in the second paragraph, it talks a little bit about how the area of the Grand Canyon was put under extreme heat and pressure about 1.7 million years ago. So I'm going to add to my scientific argument, in addition, and then here I have the list of the title of this article, which is Geologic History of the Grand Canyon. So in addition, from the geologic history of the Grand Canyon, we know that 1.7 billion years ago, sedimentary rock in the Grand Canyon got pushed deep inside Earth and put under extreme heat and pressure, which changed the sedimentary rock into metamorphic rock. So the last thing that I need to do is be able to explain just something that kind of wraps this whole argument together. And so I'll just add an additional sentence that says, all this evidence and these ideas make me think that Vishnu schist is metamorphic rock. See, this is easy. You can totally do this. What you're going to do now is you'll take this document and instead of Vishnu schist, you can choose either Docks sandstone or Zoroaster granite, which I think is spelled right, but for some reason my computer thinks it's not. So when you begin to write your claim, here's a little bit of help for you. Start by asking yourself, like, what is your evidence? And then you can use these sentence starters. My first piece of evidence is, or another piece of evidence is. And then to help you use evidence to support your claim, you could use these sentence starters like, this means that, dot, 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 or therefore, or so. And then you can also use this one that just says, since blank, 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 I can conclude that blank, blank, blank. So you can refer back to this screen to help you as you're writing your argument. And then a second thing that you're going to want to know is like sources of information that you could use for your evidence and reasoning. Be sure to find something in the geologic history of the Grand Canyon to support your argument. Look at your observations of the rock samples and then your knowledge of how the rock types form. Those of you that showed me your evidence organizer yesterday, I looked over it to make sure that you had the right rock samples with the right rock formations in the right places. And so if you're unsure if you have yours right, come and ask me and I'd be happy to take a look at it. If you didn't complete your evidence organizer from yesterday, then you might want to ask me for some help before you start or quickly put that together before you begin your argument. It's a super helpful piece of I was going to say evidence, but it's not evidence, just a helpful tool is what I meant to say. Okay, so begin now by moving on to part 3, downloading this document, and then once you're done with it, then you can submit it to me on Schoology. All right, good luck.